Hi, today I'm going to be interviewing Camille Bell, and my questions for you is, how accurate would you say the game is at representing the experience of the working poor based on course media, lecture, and your own experiences?
I think that is relatively accurate. Obviously, I don't think I can speak fully on how accurate it is from my personal perspective, as I believe my lens on society isn't the same as somebody in that position. But at the same time, from what I have seen, I think that it's pretty accurate. It gave a lot of situations, scenarios that I usually would not have taken into consideration. So in that respect, I think it was accurate. Or at least a lot more so than it went in a lot more depth than a lot of other sources I've seen.
Okay, thank you. And then, is there anything about the game experience that surprised you?
One thing that really surprised me was the fact that they had job strikes. Because I remember I was just doing some things like, oh, I can miss. I like didn't think about the fact that I had to miss work for it. I think it was I went to contest a driver or like a ticket, and of course I didn't want to pay $150 because I don't have that type of money. But but like while I contested it and while I won, I only had to pay $50. I ended up losing a lot of money in work because I literally wasn't able to go that day, and I got a job strike. And the fact that I only had 3 really stressed me out throughout the process. And the fact that it took something like that into consideration really surprised me, and it really made me think about a different framework.
And then, is there anything that you think was missing or that you disagreed with while playing?
I don't know about disagree with, but one thing, I think that the amount of options they had really limited me. I feel like there could have been more options at the same time, though. I feel like they kind of had to stop it at some point. But like, I feel like there are other alternatives to certain situations. Like, I can't think of a specific example, but I feel like at some points there could have been more options. Like, there could have been more ways of doing something. For example, they had like borrow money from a friend. You could have taken out a loan instead. You could have. There were a variety of options that you could have done. There are different ways that you could have gone to that things. But at the same time, some of the options that they did present were things I would not have thought of as options.
Okay, if you think something is unrealistic, why do you think the game was designed that way, or why do you think the game did not include certain options?
Okay, yeah. So like, I guess this goes back to what I just said. But I think that they really had to limit. They had to limit the amount of things that they had at a certain point. So I think the ones that they focused on were ones that you usually would not have thought of. Because I remember, for one of the things, it's like the gifted and talented program for the kid, and it's like you can apply for a scholarship, and I was like, oh, like, I had not considered that. Or another example, one of the kids was struggling in math, and like the options were like don't help, or like hire a tutor, and like I didn't think about the fact that you could literally help the kid yourself. Things like just like random things like that. Like there were just like certain things that I never would have considered the other framework of that option. And it made me think about A, like how I can budget things differently, B, how someone in that position would have to think about things. I think they really force you in a mindset of like I don't have the money to pursue another like more financially like challenging option. So you had to look at the lower financial options, which like I had not thought of.
Yes, and then while the game does not mention your race, ethnicity, citizenship status, educational background, or family background, how do you think that each of these characteristics would modify your success-failure within the game?
So one of the common factors I saw that I actually didn't end up pursuing because I didn't want to do the Facebook or Twitter thing was the option to like lean on your family or friends for support. If you have connections to society. So I know, for example, in class we talk about we talk about social and cultural something, I don't remember the word right now, but yeah, we talk about that and the fact that you can have certain ties to society through society and through your connections within society based off your, for example, familial background. That can really put you forward in life. In addition to that, sometimes just your racial background or things like that can prove to how successful you can be. And like, for example, if I was contesting something in court, the likelihood, depending on like where you are, for example, like if you're in the deep south and it's in downtown, if I'm a black male walking into court, the chances of me getting that contested ticket approved are not going to be as high if I were another race. So I just think that things like that really can influence it and can influence your ability to have success in these categories. Like I know in class we were talking about how people start at different levels and that how the probability of them succeeding and reaching like the top 1% of being like the richest people in the world, like it's very low as opposed to, and like you can change it based on your backgrounds. So I think that just like the ability to have yourself at a certain station in life at the beginning can really increase your ability to like finish the foot race on time and finish it in a timely fashion in a way that you're at the top rather than in the middle still or even at the bottom. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Camille.
Thank you.